You're listening to the Life in General podcast with Tom and Jaye. An hour of informative commentary on today's headlines, current events, and what's going on around the world and around the corner. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Jaye Darden.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jaye. This is episode 35. Dad's chuckling over there because it looks like I have a blue tongue right now. Maybe it's just all of the background of my shirt and everything kind of tilting things. Hope you all are doing fantastic out there. Our 42 subs, we love you all. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And the people who aren't subscribed yet but still watch, we love you too. So we're going to start this off the way we do every time and talk to the man of the hour and ask him how he's doing after the new year, his birthday, and so many other things that are going on. So, hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. It was a whirlwind coming back from the States. We came back Christmas Day and then went through the week, and then we had New Year's and then birthday on January the 2nd, and we get all of that bullshit out of the way. And so now we can just cruise the rest of the year and don't have to worry about anything.
There you go. So
yeah.
You've made it around the sun one more time.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
You know, and you're closer to the sun now, so you can definitely feel it, right, when you've made your full rotation.
Yeah, my brother and I were talking, and he's 5 years older than I am, and we were talking, and he said, "Are you 68?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Man," I said, "Yeah, I never thought I would live to see this long with my reckless lifestyle early on." And he's like, "Yeah, I understand." We were talking about driving real fast on a motorcycle, and I said, "Yeah, when the dotted line turns solid, you know you have arrived." And he said, "Yeah, ain't that the truth?" So that's moving.
For living dangerously, as
yes.
Well,
yes.
It's something that we're very fortunate to get to do. People will see me kind of playing with my hair throughout the day. This is something that's kind of funny that we can kind of start things off with. I work with several women, and I know several women watch this podcast and stuff. So answer down below in the comments whether or not or at what point in time your boy can take the hair from the front and put it back into a ponytail, right? We're not going to do the top knot thing. We're not doing that. And I had somebody at work today tell me, "Oh, yeah, you know, they brought their hair down and it goes to about their chin." Because I thought it was to about their lips. And they said, "No, once it gets to your chin." And I said, "Well, I have multiple chins. They're just hidden under the beard. So when I hit chin level 2, I can actually put it back in a ponytail and stuff." They got a kick out of that. So
that's called the chin.
Yeah, well, multiple chins are hidden, right? They're hidden beneath the forest is what's going on there. So
there you go.
That was kind of humorous, and it is one thing where, you know, I am trying to grow it out so that I can eventually donate it. But I would love for it to be the length that I can just put it back in a ponytail and leave it alone, and it be, you know, cooler, out of my way, and then out of my face, because I am not one to have stuff touching my face, if that makes sense. I'll be very distracted and whatnot if something is just in my peripheral, right, that I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Right.
Or at least get long enough to, you know, we do the tuck behind the ears, and then, you know, I'm in a romance movie and they leave because I'm a jerk and it's ugly, and it's like, well, perfect. This is working out exactly as it should. So that would be that'd be it. So
okay, if you say so.
That's it.
What's the temperature there right now?
The temperature was 55 at the high today, but we are slated for some snow and sleet and ice potentially.
Again?
What's that?
Again?
Yes, again, yeah.
Okay.
When you are not right next to the sun, we have these things called seasons. And in these seasons, well, Tennessee is kind of a mixed bag, but things happen. And sometimes it gets real cold, like freeze your balls off cold, which is what it was, I think, a couple days ago. And it's going to be again here in the very near future, where it gets to the 20s. Now, of course, I say this, and I do know that we have some lovely Canadian watchers, and so they'll say, cold, you think it's cold, eh? And I'll say, well, you know, maybe it's not in the negatives, which is not very not very frequent for people in Tennessee, but it is something that when it does, I remember it got down to the teens and we had our water on, like our tap just barely trickling, right? So it keeps a little bit of water going to make sure the pipes didn't burst. So that was kind of crazy.
Well, it's 83 here. Sorry.
You know, it was something
Well,
you were
I'm
having
not
a hard
sorry.
time
I'm just saying
last week when it was like, oh, this room's like a sauna. Well, enjoy the sauna because we're over here freezing our balls off. So
Yeah, this place we live is all brick. So when the sun comes up,
so would you
it
say
comes up on
it's
this
a brick
side. It's like
house?
oven. It is a brick house, and she's a brick house, and the sun comes up and beats down on those bricks, and it's like a little easy bake oven. You know, if there's not a breeze blowing to keep things cool. Now it's not near as bad tonight as it was last week.
Oh yeah,
week, man, I thought it was gonna
last week
suffocate, man.
you're sweating a little bit.
Yeah, it's not near as bad today though. So, but I have but since we've come back, now to get into the mall, you have to show your
vaccine card.
Vaccine card.
Sure.
Okay, well, if everybody's showing their vaccine card that goes into the mall and you're checking all of them at the door, then why does everybody have to wear a mask in the mall?
Because it lowers the spread.
No, that's supposed to be like poster boy smile or some bullshit.
It just makes common sense.
But everybody's vaccinated, right?
Right. But
'Cause they
remember,
make 'em-
vaccinated does not mean impervious.
But why do I have to wear a mask in the mall if I'm back? If everybody that comes in there is vaccinated and you make sure of it, then why do I have to wear a mask since they've already proven 100 times that they don't work?
The Life in General podcast is in no way say that the CDC, WHO, whatever organizations you want to say are not inherently true, accurate, and the end-all be-all. Now, that degree,
they're all liars.
everybody's a liar. But to that degree, you know, I think we need to take this a different direction. And maybe they just think your ass is ugly and they don't want to see your face. Cue in the crickets. Yeah. Because, and I believe somebody had a conversation with me, I won't say who, was talking about getting a potential fake vaccine card. I don't know who it was, but let's say people are actually doing that, right? And they don't go, like they didn't want to get vaccinated, but they can't not go to the Commissariat de Barrio, right?
To the grocery store, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So are you going to keep some food or?
They don't look at them close enough anyway, because you can just flash it and they look at it and go, okay.
Right.
They you can't tell the name.
I flash my damn Sam's card and it's like, you can't even see if this is me or not, whatever. So
yeah, that's the same difference because there's no picture. It's just your name and they don't know if it's a boy or girl and they're not looking at the age and all that. You just flash it and go on and they're like, yeah, go ahead. And it's like, man, oh man, it's just a cluster. But anyway, speaking of clusters, is school open back up yet?
I have no idea. I don't go to school. What's school?
But you would know if the schools are open.
Why would
in your area? Do you not watch the news and know what's going on around you? Or
I work from home, live at home, and exist at home. Now, the news, I do not normally. I don't want to say don't normally like try to watch it, but there's so much negativity out there, and I don't have a child that I need to say, well, little Timmy, is school open so I can send your ass there? Because I definitely don't want you hanging out with me all winter long.
I just wondered because I was
they go back next week, I think, is what a teacher friend of mine saying.
Watching a news feed today, and the teachers union in Chicago said that they're not going back to school, that they might go on strike. Well, Beetlejuice, the mayor of Chicago, she said, well, I'll just withhold your paychecks. So this ought to get real interesting across the nation.
That is kind of
interesting.
They're
they're not letting kids go back to in-person learning. It's a crock of shit, and they need to go on and put them back in the schools and stop all that virtual stuff. But several of them have already, across the United States, have already resorted to virtual learning. They said, we're not going back. And it's like, any excuse to, and then come to find out the Biden administration had earmarked 130 billion, as he says with a B, billion dollars,
billions and billions
to go with the schools for them to adjust the physical plants, the physical schools with the new, air filtration systems or plastic ware or whatever they needed to do to get them back into classrooms. Where did all that money go? Where did it go, man? They did a breakdown today of what cities got how many millions of dollars. And then they tell you, we're not going back to school. Oh, wait, we sent you $28 million to do this and you're not going back to school? Well, where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? It's time for the lying and the thievery to be over with, man. It really is. And I know you're going to go, what are you going to do about it? I don't know what to do about it. And I don't know what to tell the public to do about it. Vote their ass out in November, but you got 11 months.
This is a very exciting show when you can just say all my lines and all of your lines.
Well, yeah. I've been practicing. I'm retired. I don't have anything else to do.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't watch it. What's his hand?
What's going on? Hello. What are you going to say? I already know what you're going to say. Blah, 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 and just start talking to the hand. That is pretty humorous. So a couple of things. One, speaking about schools, this was kind of interesting, and I did see this kind of in the news, kind of some things that I watch. Several California schools are no longer giving out D's and F's. Straight up. They're just saying, nope, not doing that. We're just going to move your kid right on through. And, and several, of course, the jokes that were made after that was, because they're getting F'd in the D or getting D'd in the F or on the F or whatever, which was hilarious. And it was something where, could you imagine not like going to a school and just knowing it is essentially daycare?
That's what it is. They're not teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic anymore. I don't.
Well, what are they teaching then?
I tell you what was really cool.
All that.
What's really cool is in Arizona. Arizona passed a law where if your school is closed even one day, you can pull your child out and send them to a different school.
Oh, so you're just saying this is advantageous for the parents, you mean? They can send them somewhere else.
Yes, they can pull them out and send them somewhere else. So, bully to you. You figure a reason not to go to school or not to teach my kid. Well, the kids don't go one day. I can take my kid and put him in a charter school or a private school or put him in another public school that's rolling along. And they passed that for the parents. Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty cool. Well, one thing that the Biden administration did that was kind of cool.
They've not done anything that's cool.
Hold up. They actually they extended the grace period on repaying student loans back until May. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. Are you accumulating interest all that time?
You are not. Not in the slightest.
Okay.
It's under forbearance status, so that means nothing happens. Now, I think you have a couple of avenues I think that they are going. One is they're going to push that out and forbear all those out until they eventually, this round of people who have it right now, say, look, we're going section by section. Depending on your life choices, blah, blah, blah. The first kind of people, it was civil servants, stuff like that. The next kind of people, it's folks who are in charitable organizations, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, it seems as though they will clear it all out. Eventually. The other avenue that's happening is people are going to say, I haven't had to pay this for 2 years, 3 years. I'm not going to pay it. Like, I'm just not going to do it. You're going to do whatever you think you're going to try and do. And then I'm just going to say no,
Right.
because either they paid some amount back and not all of it, or it'll be something where it's like, no, you went without this for so long. You don't need this to do whatever it is you got to do. Something that I thought was kind of wild.
That is different. That's really different.
Well,
Especially
and
for
here's the deal. If they do the 10 grand and less, then all right, cool. But I don't know.
well, it'd be interesting to see.
I also did see something a little bit online where they said that Biden most likely is not going to run for 2024. So what in the world's happening there? Who in the world would they put up there?
He's an idiot. They don't have one. They don't have any. They're all puppets. I mean, if you started naming off people that you could find, 10 good reasons not to put them in there. I hope Trump doesn't run again. That's all I hope. I mean, and I was a Trump supporter, and I know, they're going to come down on me and shit. But they don't need him again. They need somebody fresh. We've talked about this more than once. Somebody half his age, somebody in their mid 40s, early 50s, instead of somebody that's 75 or 80 years old. Get somebody in here young and fresh and stuff. Man.
So we would have another instance of like a JFK where they're 35,
yes,
36, 37. And could you imagine?
Not that young, because those people are out of their minds too. They don't have any idea what's going on. So.
Hey, listen. Can you imagine? Your boy turns 35 next year, so
You gonna run?
I am not a crook. Well, hey, I have gotten offers on running for the Democratic Party, which is hilarious. Just in general.
How dare
right?
you?
Yeah. Well, it's something that, for one, maybe it's just it has to be the most random thing in the world, right? It's something we're like, hey, we're gonna throw a dart, cool, whatever happens. Because now, have I voted Democrat in the past? Yes. Have I voted Republican in the past? Yes. It just depends on the time, right? I do follow that sort of mantra where I really dislike voting for between a douche and a turd sandwich, or the lesser of two evils, but oftentimes it's becoming more and more and more about that. But to that end, what can you do? So something that's kind of interesting. And I mean, could you imagine me being a councilman or a mayor or something random like that? And it's like, well, yes, this is
No, I couldn't. Yeah, I could. Yeah, an alderman in Hendersonville, get to bang that hammer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It represents your district.
Get out of here. You bother me,
And
Just
argue
something
about
crazy,
trash
dude.
pickup and stuff that's irrelevant, Yeah. Well, to me, it's irrelevant. To you,
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Speaking of, okay. What he said. Did you know that Tesla and Samsung moving their headquarters to Texas?
I have heard about that, but it was something I wasn't sure if it actually was going through or not, because I heard the Tesla thing a while ago, but Samsung, that's kind of interesting. And now, are you saying that is from California to Texas? Is that what's happening from both? Or
Yes. And 70 businesses have relocated to Texas in 2021, relocated their headquarters, because Texas is obviously open for business.
do you mean
No mask
are
mandates, no vaccine mandates, none of that kind of crap.
I think Tesla is moving to Texas because they make batteries, right? A lot of the times they make solar batteries, cars, etc., right? So they know, at least if Tesla heads down there, they won't have a power outage like they did in Texas that left hundreds of thousands of people cold and freezing and whatnot.
Well, that's when they were using the windmills and stuff, and the windmills froze up. They wasn't used to it.
Sometimes the wind just doesn't blow. I can remember Trump saying that shit, man. That was insane.
Well, the deal with Samsung is they're going to make semiconductors, and they're trying.
Cool. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're trying to get the semiconductor business there, because the Chinese or Japanese or Taiwan or somebody had cornered the semiconductor market.
Oh yeah,
And we were having to get all of our stuff from them. Well, now we don't have to.
Well, one of the problems that I heard from that was that it takes, like semi-precious metals, it takes actually a unique element to make semiconductors and the chips and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to find how they get that resource, because if you import that shit, we'll be speaking Ebonics very shortly.
Okay. Well, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it.
I was doing an interview this week for work, and one of the things in the freight business, much as you know, freight never stops, right? Freight's always moving. Containers always moving. And I told this to the person we were interviewing as kind of a warning, like, look, we're going to tell you right now, you're going to walk away from your machine, and that job is technically still there. It's still happening in real time all the time.
Right.
And I said it never stops. And a few of my very lovely coworkers reminded me very quickly that they said, have you looked over California at all those ships that are hanging out there in the sea where the vessels with the containers aren't moving at all? And I said, well, they're anchored, but they move like this throughout the day because the tides are moving them around, the water and stuff. But there's so many things sitting out there right now that it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It is. I found something very interesting is that this is how stupid the people are in the upper level administration, or some of the people in Virginia. Did you hear about the 6 tractor trailer crash on I-95 in Virginia? In the ice and snow.
Is that the one where the people are like, it's going to take 28 hours to get out of this? Something insane, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're blaming Youngkin, the guy that was elected governor. He hadn't even took office yet. And they're blaming this guy for the backup on I-95. I mean, the guy's not even in office. And you're trying to blame this guy?
Yes.
He doesn't have anything to do with it. He hadn't even been sworn in yet. But you don't say anything. You don't say nothing about the governor that's in power. You don't say nothing about him, that he's not helping anybody. He's not helping anybody.
I'm really happy I put a compressor on your mic because you're getting uppity.
Well, shit, man. I mean, you're blaming a guy that's not even in office. That's how ignorant these people are. That's how stupid some people are. They just got to lay blame on somebody. And, you know what tomorrow is, right? Ooh. Think about the day. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
What's tomorrow?
Yeah. So what's today's secret word, Cocky?
Today's secret word is
January 6th.
You all remember what to do whenever
Anyone says the secret word, right?
Scream!
Right!
For the rest of the day, whenever
Anyone says the secret word, scream real loud!
Oh, yeah! Oh, my God! We're going to be breached. We're all going to die. Yeah. Oh, look out. They're shooting at us. Oh, they're going to take over. Do you know how many people were prosecuted for the insurrection?
6.
0.
Oh.
0 people have been prosecuted for that insurrection. That's how full of crap those people are about all of that. And they just can't let it go. Ooh.
Are you saying they need to watch the movie Frozen? Because they just got to let it go?
It's all a distraction, though. You still don't say, you don't hear them say nothing about the border. People are pouring across the border. Are you vaccinating them? Are you testing them?
You know,
have they got a mask on? Have they got a mask? No. Have they got a mask on? They're pouring across the border.
Peculiar to me was we had a brief discussion about the border, right? And something that you want to talk about conspiratorial.
There is no border.
What?
There is no border.
Okay. Something that was absolutely wild was we were talking about the COVIDs, right?
Right.
Talking about that. And then we were saying, well, they're letting millions, air quotes, millions, I don't know, I mean, it's coming across the border, and they're replacing voters. You want to talk about like something that just tickles the proverbial spot of my conspiracy theory like mind? It was that. That was absolutely outrageous. Something that we had a conversation about. Of course, it was in jest, and we were just kind of, spitballing, talking about random things to talk about on here and whatnot. And that was absolutely crazy. Could you imagine, like, just for 1 second, be like, well, we did just replace a hell of a lot of voters. And I'm like, bruh. Crazy. That's what that is.
They change the voting laws. It won't be crazy when they change the voting laws and they just let any damn body vote. It won't be that crazy. And that's what they're trying to do behind the scenes, is they're trying to change the voting laws where you don't have to have a picture ID, or you don't have to be legal to vote, and all that kind of stuff. Just wait and see. Wait and see. They're going to let everybody that came in, they're going to try to let them vote too. They are. You watch and see if it doesn't get out of control in 2022 in November. People better wake up and do something, man. I'm telling you, it's out of control. They better wake up.
Can we take a quick little journey?
No.
There was a point in time when there were certain varieties of folks who could not vote. Okay. I'll let history define itself. A certain group of people, then several years later, a certain other group of people, then other years later, bam. What is voting meant to do?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, no, I'm asking to you, what is voting supposed to do, like, for a person?
It's your right. It's an electoral process, and your right to express how you would like for your government to operate.
Perfect. That is a perfect definition in my eyes. Thank you. Now, if that person lives there, albeit possibly illegally, are they not still entitled to now, before you go nuts, are they not still entitled to that same right because they live there? They pay taxes based on their purchases?
No, not unless they're a registered voter. They need to register and be legal.
Okay.
They need to be legal. You can't just come across the Rio Grande in October and then cast a ballot in November. It doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't work that way.
And I know
don't make me punch this screen, man. I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all, man. Just because they live in Arizona, they cross the border illegally, and they live in Arizona, and they work, and they pay taxes, they get to vote?
That's pretty close. I mean, come on. Isn't that
Really?
the whole point about them?
They don't have a driver's license or a picture ID, or they're not legal.
You said they pay taxes. They work
Well,
there.
do they? Are they paying taxes?
They are if they're making purchases and there's sales tax out there and blah, 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 right? Like,
that's different paying sales tax than it is an income tax.
If everybody
no
pays in the state, then it might work.
Everybody pays federal income tax.
Oh, that's fair.
Federal income tax. So you don't get to vote in a federal election unless you pay federal income tax.
So, but does that mean they could vote in a local election?
No.
Why not? They're paying local taxes if there's no income tax
out
of the state.
No, they're not. They're paying sales tax on products purchased.
Right.
So
in this example,
this is that's the craziest shit I've ever heard, man.
Go ahead and say it's stupid. Go ahead and say it.
No, I'm not going to say it's stupid because they're getting away with it. They're getting away with it.
But the only thing I'm trying to convey here, I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever, but look at it from the perspective of the point of casting a vote is to try and change the way governance occurs, right? So if somebody is living there, regardless if they have this number or whatever, then it would be like, oh, wait, they're trying to affect change, maybe for the better. I mean, they might be trying to vote somebody in against somebody who's corrupt, right?
You sent me home. Now you're trying to be mean to me.
Like I'm the one being mean right now, as you're saying my idea is insane. Yeah, that's exactly how that's working. Yeah. But the point being is, it's like, open your mind.
No.
Wait,
not opening my mind. It's closed.
Start the reactor. Yeah.
No. People better wake up. I'm telling you, it's out of control. It's out of control. Speaking of out of control,
this podcast, that's what that is.
We'll segue into this. I've been reading a book called Protecting the President.
Yeah, by Dan Bongino.
What a half-ass organization the Secret Service is. I mean, golly, did you know that there were 3 breaches in the White House where people have gotten over the fence, and one person even got into the building before they were caught? Did you know? You don't hear anything about that, do you? Oh, you don't hear anything about that.
The
kind of
hands
shit.
like, woo! Oh my
goodness! Yeah, that's the insurrection hands. It's January the 6th. Ooh.
Oh my goodness! Yep. Yeah. So let me ask you this: why in the world would we want to be told about that? I.e., the public saying something of ours failed.
Because it needs to be fixed.
Okay, but...
Hush! It needs to be fixed.
This is out of control! Hush!
You gotta cut in Broken Arrow. Hush! Oh, so funny, man. But if it needs to be fixed, perfect. It does need to be fixed. Now, here's the thing. How long do you think something in a bureaucratic place like the U.S. government, it takes to fix something? How long do you think it takes?
Oh, it's years and years. They're not ever going to fix that. But what they've done is they've taken the place of like the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police used to guard the physical plant itself, the White House and the surrounding area and all that kind of stuff. Now, my understanding is that they have a uniform division of the Secret Service. So the uniform division of the Secret Service guards the physical plant now. But these guys or girls have dropped the ball a couple of times, and people have breached the fence and gotten over the fence and stuff like that. And it's like, and this all started, the Secret Service started back in the 1800s looking for counterfeit currency.
Right.
That's how that
I believe
all started.
it was Jim West in the Wild Wild West that was Agent 1, and his buddy, the scientist, was Agent 2.
Well, maybe so. But
wasn't it
that's
with President Grant?
It might have been. I don't remember. I didn't write any
Will
notes.
Smith and Wild Wild West for letting me know that information. If it is accurate, let us know down below in the comments.
But this guy's giving you the inner workings. He's an agent for 10 years and giving you the inner workings, and just to listen to it, it's like the FBI and the Secret Service and all these. They're such a clusterfuck right now. I mean, it's like, anyway, it's just a really sad situation that he was on the Presidential Protection Detail. So here's my question. Speaking of Presidential Protection Detail, here's the question. If a president, after serving his term, decides he's not going to run again after a year, he serves his term, and then after a year of not serving, he decides he's not going to serve. Why does he still get Secret Service protection for him and his family the rest of his life?
Okay. So if we look at something like that, the president of the United States...
I'm sorry. What? At taxpayer expense. Let me kind of put that in there too. Taxpayer expense
we're talking about,
for Secret Service.
May I give you a parallel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody chooses to work in the United States and pay taxes for 40 years. They choose not to continue to work. They are paid until their death at the taxpayer's expense. Do you see the parallel here?
No, because if you're talking about me, I contributed into the Social Security fund. I don't know why you're stuck on that, but I contributed into that fund for 50 damn years.
Okay.
And they spent all the money that I put in that fund.
Well,
they spent it all.
So
but it's not the same. It's not the. He's going to get a salary the rest of his life and benefits. But nobody gives a damn about Jenna Bush or Tamika or Shamika Obama. Nobody cares about those people except their mom and dad. Why are we still paying for Secret Service protection? And they don't know any secrets. It's not like you got the nuclear football, and you don't. What kind of secret?
What they know and don't know.
But why are we paying for that protection? You pay for it because you're still getting a salary from the taxpayers. So take it out of your money and you pay for your own protection, because the senators and the Congress people, the House Representatives, they have to pay for their own security forces or details that hang with them. They were asking the chief of the Capitol Police today how he protects members of Congress, because it's January the 6th, how they protect them when they leave the campus, talking about the Capitol
don't they have
area.
like an underground like shuttle system or a monorail system kind of thing? Underground?
They were asking him how they protected them when they went home, when they went to their respective states or wherever they lived and stuff. How they don't protect them there. The Capitol Police and the Secret Service don't protect members of Congress when they go home. That's not part of the gig. That's not part of their job. So they don't do it. But he said the guy should have been a politician. Well, we work with local law enforcement and we tell them how to assess threats and we tell them how to, protect this or watch that or do this or, January the 6th. Ooh. Get out of here with that bullshit, man.
So you don't know what they don't know. But to that end, they got to the highest office of the land. It is in, I think, our Constitution. I'm not 100% sure if it's something where it's an amendment or some random shit like that, because the amount of money the president has gotten has obviously gone up as the years went on, right? Because it has to be something where, I don't want to say it needs to be advantageous monetarily, but it does need to be something where somebody thinks it is worth doing because it is one of, if not the most stressful position to be in regardless, right?
Okay.
Now, to that end, should we continue to provide them with Secret Service? Well, sure. And
really?
The reason why I say this...
Really?
Yes, the reason why I say this is because, for one, you don't know what they know and don't know. If they ever fell into the wrong hands, and we talked about this briefly, it also is something where they're watching them too. So you have a defector, i.e. certain presidents after the fact who are no longer presidents or former presidents. Well, what if they want to go sell some secrets? Don't you want somebody in our government still watching them to say, no.
Biden's already selling secrets to the Chinese. He's been doing that for years.
Well,
wait,
to him.
Wait, did I catch you off guard there? And
no, not in the sense because nothing is surprising.
Clinton's got secrets of Epstein's Island, and you want to talk about secrets? Wait a minute now.
Oh, no. We don't want to talk about secrets here. We don't. And this is not for my benefit. We do not want to talk about secrets. So, but to that end, yes.
Ain't got no secrets.
Okay. Have somebody watch them, right? And then somebody is watching after them, right? It's something where, let's think about the amount of people who did not like Obama or who didn't like the one pump Trump all this sort of stuff. Wouldn't you want somebody? I keep saying somebody, and I always think somebody once told me. It's just I can't get that out of my head, man. Smash Mouth's making me lose my mind. Wouldn't you want somebody surrounding them or keeping an eye on them, regardless of whether or not it's for their safety or ours?
They can hire their own people.
Fair. They can hire their own
And
people.
so speaking of hiring their own people in the Secret Service, so they asked the Capitol Police Chief. He was talking about bringing in private security operators to fill in spaces so that the Capitol Police can get time off, can not do as much overtime, can be at home with their families. And the union doesn't want them to bring in private security to give these people a break.
Right, because it takes away from their overtime and their pay and all that.
Are you kidding me?
No.
They're already overworked and underpaid, and January the 6th. And he's had to negotiate. The chief is having to negotiate with the union to bring in private security contractors to give the Capitol Police officers a break. He said they were, what did he say, 457 officers short right now. And he's got a proposal to hire 280. But it takes a year from the day you hire them. One of the Congress people asked, how long does it take? It takes a year from the day you hire them to before you can put them on a post by themselves. Yeah, right at a year of training.
That's much better than what we've seen in comparison to a lot of these other trainings. So that's not bad.
Now they're trying to bring in lateral people from other government organizations and come in laterally. They're trying to rehire Capitol Police that have left and bring them back because they know they can hit the street right now and go because they've got the training and stuff. But I found that you're trying to help these people so that they can get time off and they can and get a break and take a vacation and have a day off. And you guys are going to argue with us about it?
Do you remember a conversation that you and I had about helping people but wanting to help them your way?
No.
Okay, that's no problem. Many things I say to people.
I've slept since then.
Yeah, many things I say goes in one ear and out the other. That's why this is recorded, so we can have it on record for later.
I've got them both covered, so it kind of swirls around and ooh.
That's it. So, to that end, a couple of things. One, have you ever worked in a union, like a legit union, paid dues, blah blah blah?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Bakery and Confectionery Workers Local 149. And I worked for Wonder Bread Hostess Cake in Memphis, Tennessee.
Back when you were like yabba dabba doo.
I was like 17 or 18 years old. I think I was 17 or 18. I worked for ITT Continental Bacon.
Right. The inner workings of that union, because I worked for one as well when I worked for Kroger's. That was a legit union, right? They had union reps. I remember every time they were like, we need to talk to you. And then the union rep would be like, hold up, I'll be there in a second. Always sort of that thing. The point of that union is to maintain a couple of things. One, it's to maintain that the person in the union or persons, whatever, gets equal, correct, and fair treatment, right? That's one of their main things. But another thing for them to do is keep power. I'm not saying Life in General Podcast is anti-union. We are most certainly not. But union is a two-way street here, right? Where the Capitol Police, would you want to relinquish the control that you have and the status quo that you have by letting others, non-union people, be a part of your thing? Because you're going to have folks who, well, maybe the union pay is set at a certain amount. This non-union pay, like let's say I'm union, you're not union. You come up to work for the Capitol Police, but you're paid a lot more, but my wages are set by the union. And then that ever gets out or leaks, Well, now what happens? I'm pissed at
It's
you.
well, it sucks to be you because you're in the union and I'm not.
That's my point. Perfect. You've proven my point perfectly. Thank you very much. Have a good night. But that's the whole thing, right? One, helping people the way that you want is not always the way people need to be helped. And the other is union people, they don't want to deal with non-union people because the whole point about being in the union is like, hey, we decide how things function. Even if it's the leadership, they needed to be elected into office, most likely, right, or through tenure. And then if they need to be cast out, with the lepers, then they can be that way because it's union. It's blah, 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 right? But the point being is, if I'm in this union, I'd fight tooth and nail, man, because you're not union. That means you don't have to follow my rules.
You want a day off?
I'll take the overtime because I know that you coming in here and doing things and messing up my feng shui.
But then you're not going to do a good job protecting because you're store blind and you're not paying attention and you're letting them breach the Capitol. You're letting them breach the White House fence. And you just okay, yeah.
But is that not the point, right? Is to say I'm overworked and blah blah blah. Is to get more resources for the union, not let's do a better job overall. Because honestly, people, when's the last time you just wanted to do a better job just for the sake of doing a better job?
I'm trying every Wednesday to do the best job I can, boss.
I'm coming down there. I'll see you next week in my office down there.
Somebody asked me when you were coming back. I forget who it was. They wanted to know when you were coming back. It might have been Bo.
Oh, well, that's very exciting. I can't wait. We'll have him on. We're gonna have him on. We got a list of people going. So if you want to be down, in the show, let us know down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube overlords, be appeased because we are trying to get your blessings. Every little
smash like button and subscribe and all that kind of stuff.
Comment,
I told him I thought you were survive. Yeah. I told him I thought you were coming maybe in March, that you might come back in March. I didn't know.
Dang, son, March is look. We're talking pretty quick.
That's right around the corner, isn't it? Yeah. Wait, that's right around the corner.
That's it. So we will definitely have another on location show there. That's for sure. But it's something where I understand, at least from a 30,000 foot view, having been a part of a union, you've been a part of one. Let us know if you've been in a union. Am I right? Is Tom right? Is nobody right? Let us know what's up, because that's kind of important, and it's something that kind of goes to the core of us as a nation, right? Where we want unions for the fact that it means many people talking to the person in charge has a voice, right? Because if it was just me talking to the boss, I don't mean a whole lot. But if 100 of me come and talk to the boss, that makes a lot of difference, because if your line goes down and you're an automotive industry, like an automotive shop, just as for example, $30,000 a minute it costs to shut that shit down. Well, your boys over at wherever is like, nah.
You talking about like Nissan or somewhere like that?
Perfect. Like Ford, Nissan, Chevy, Dodge, whatever. If there are those plants making those cars, making those parts, whatever, bruh, it costs so much for those plants to go down. Well, let's think about it. If everyone wants tea time at, 10:15 in the morning, well, that's going to be a really expensive tea time if it's going to be at $30,000 a minute and all we want's 15.
Right.
So.
Well, I had a buddy and his dad worked at the bakery, and he got me in, and I was real young, 17, 18 years old. And 6 weeks after I got there, they were voting to strike. And I was like, what? Because I didn't know anything about unions, or how that worked and all that kind of stuff. But
did your father not tell you, don't be in a union, you little asshole?
No, he didn't. I moved away from home when I was like 15 and a half years old, and I never spent a minute under their roof.
Yeah, no, we can tell.
So
we can all tell.
Yeah. So, no, I didn't get that advice. But they didn't strike. Now, I wouldn't have known what to do other than I guess you go walk the picket line or whatever. But I used to load the cupcake trucks, the Hostess cake
the
trucks,
Hostess little cupcakes,
yeah,
little
the
chocolate swirls,
Hostess cupcakes and the Twinkies and the powdered donuts and the fried pies, the apple and peach pies. Oh my gosh, I used to load those route trucks. I worked in shipping and loaded those route trucks where they delivered to the stores and stuff. That's what I did.
Jaye.
Yep.
So
That's right.
You just said something that was kind of interesting, and I've been doing some interviews this week and whatnot. And let me ask you this question: you said your boy got you a job because they knew somebody, etc.
Yes.
Here's a question for you and all of our listeners / watchers: has nepotism ever gotten you a job? And what do you think about it for those coming after you? So something that is talked about a lot in social media, i.e. podcasters, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, etc. They have a large following, and they do the thing where they either pull the ladder up behind them or close the door behind them. Nepotism, in that case, has that ever happened where you were brought in and then say they hired like one or two more people and then it was like, we're going to close the door, pull up the ladder, whatever? Or are you somebody who wants to pull up that ladder yourself? Because as an example, doing interviews this week at work, and all you can talk about is how you know person X, Y, and Z. That doesn't make you a good potential person for me.
Right.
It just
You're
doesn't.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, what are we doing here? And has this happened in like, this is a previous job, but it's like, hey, is that the way we should go? And the reason why I mentioned the pulling the ladder up behind you is because I got into the position I was, or not am in now, but I got into that job because I knew somebody. So, hey, did it work out? You tell me, because I don't know, and I've been there almost 10 years. So it's like, did it work? Kind of, yes. But does that mean it's going to work for everybody? Yes, no. So many factors go into that. But what do you think about nepotism in general?
I really haven't. I haven't encountered that a lot when I was in my work history or whatever. This is back years ago with the bakery business. Billy's dad got me in, but Billy didn't even work there. His son, Billy, that I knew, he didn't even work there. So I don't know if he didn't want to, or he didn't want to, dad didn't want him to, or whatever. But he just put in a word for me. It wasn't like, I didn't know Billy's dad, but he put a word in for me, and I got my foot in the door. I don't. If nowadays it's a employees market. You can go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do nowadays, man. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been in a situation where I've had to work for the VP's son, or the president's daughter, or I had never been in that position. So, but I just go in and do my gig and go on about my business. So somebody that's got in because dad's in charge or something, I don't give a damn. I just go in and do what I'm supposed to do. So I haven't run into that in my life of working and stuff. But it is January the 6th tomorrow. So
well, there you go. Well, how exciting of a segment when you've never encountered it before.
I just never have. I can't think of a time when I worked for, I can't think of a single time that I've worked
it
for
just
somebody.
hasn't happened. That hey, sometimes that occurs, right? With as many jobs as you and I have had, I'm surprised.
Now when I had help getting a job, have I name dropped before?
Yeah,
well, yeah, I knew somebody that worked there, but it's not like. I learned a long time ago, don't co-sign anybody, because sure as you do, and you say something, good about them, or you say they're the best or whatever, they turn out to be a flake or whatever. So anyway, I
That
learned
was something
the hard
about,
way.
well, and
Learned
that's fair. Something that has come about, or at least the thought to the opposite of that point, is if somebody is a referral, if the person referring them is a good worker, level head on their shoulders, they are pretty good all around, a well-rounded individual, you would think that you have something for the person they refer. It's another level of accountability because they don't want to ruin the name or word of Johnny, right? Because Jay suggested it. And a lot of the times, at least in my experience, that's been okay. Like, it's been pretty good. And things have worked out pretty well. However, it's something where if I've ever been the person to suggest someone else, it's most certainly a, hey man, don't fuck this up for me, okay? Like, don't be a shithead because you need to do a good job.
Right.
And it's something to be able to check in on them and stuff like that. However, I think that changes depending on the level in which you are, right? Let's say I'm at the same level that person coming in is at or one rung above. You have a little more caution to them being there. But if you're 5 steps up, and it doesn't matter whether or not they do good or bad, it's just, hey, let's give it a shot and whatever. Now you have to give this person a shot. Well, then that's different. So something that I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I've had it go both ways. I've had them work out really well and them go right on up the ladder. And then I've had them just flake out and make you look like a, total douche for even mentioning their name. So
you're a tool. Tool.
Yes, for trying to mention somebody's name.
Well, now that you have a whole another year under your belt, what are some of the things that you're looking to do there, good buddy?
It's going to be what you make it. So we'll see.
Yes, but see. What do you want to make it?
Just another day. I want to make it one more day. And then tomorrow make it one more day. And make it one more day. I've got some challenges coming up, so we'll see how they work out. And we'll be all right.
Were the dogs excited to have you back in their midst?
I think they were mad at us for a while, and they were kind of a little standoffish, and then they had to jump up all on you and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they've gotten to where normally when we open the gate now they won't even go out the gate. But the other day when we came back from somewhere and we opened the gate, boy, they both jetted out. And I said, well, let them go, let them run. They'll come back. If they don't, then we ain't got to feed them. So,
right. Yeah.
Sure enough, shortly they came back. So
one of the very fun little adages that you used to say was that dog knows where its bread is buttered. So that was always very interesting to see little Sadie running around and then, scamper off and then come back like an hour later, be like, hey, tapping on the door and stuff like, what's up?
Yeah. Can I get, see, you started talking and they heard you talking.
They know I'm talking about them. That's what's happening. Yeah. Their ears
are
burning.
Right. It's exactly right. Exactly right. We had a time down here with the fireworks because these people blow it out. And I thought Columbia was invading the country or something, man. Because it sounded like dynamite or hand grenades and shit going off down here, man. They're big on the fireworks, and they started like at 11:30 on New Year's Eve, and we had taken a pillow top mattress, and put it in front of the door upstairs. We turned the fan on turbo, turned the music on loud, and we gave the dogs a little piece of an adult cookie, and so to calm them down, and so they were kind of mellow, but all hell broke loose about 11:30, man.
Oh, I bet. And everyone and their brothers going crazy.
it ran till about 12:15, and then it started to slow down a little bit. But then, like at 2:30 in the morning, boom, 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 and it's like, oh, we're being invaded, or somebody's, they're trying to breach the house or whatever. So the dogs were, all of a sudden, they were up and at them again. And I was like, no, man, we didn't get a decent night's sleep the first 4 nights we were back.
Why is that?
Because of the Christmas and then fireworks on Christmas Day.
Everyone's just going nuts for the holidays. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's a holiday week. So
yeah, it is.
There's a rental house over here next to us that the lady at the hotel over here owns. And so she had the top and bottom rented out for the week, I guess, for the holiday weekend. Maybe the hotel was full. I don't know, but she rents that out too. And so there were people over there with a dog. So our dogs were barking at their dog, and they were both going back and forth. And then, so it was, everything was going on all the time. So, but everybody's gone away now. Things are level back out. Everything's smooth. Life's good. So, we'll see how everything works out.
Well, there you go, good sir.
That's
well,
right.
we have hit the hour mark. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss?
Now, I did forget to throw kudos out and thank David Earl, the band leader of the Gallatin High School band, for bringing some band members over to Santa's Forgotten Heroes. I forgot to mention David, and I apologize for that, because they always come over and do a really great job playing Christmas music and playing military songs and stuff like that. And David's a really good guy. He and Kay and Sean, I mean, they do it upright, and they help us every year. And I forgot to say thanks to them. So there you go.
Well, hey,
I want to toot their horn, man.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Oh, January the 6th. Ooh.
Can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Most likely nothing. And then it'll be like, well, this was the...
Well, nothing's going to happen, but they're just going to keep beating it. They're going to keep beating that dead horse because they're trying to distract you from no in-person learning, the voter registration cards, the people pouring over the border. I mean, I didn't make a list, but they're trying to distract you with this January 6th crap while all this other stuff's going on.
The real question...
All this other bullshit's going on, man.
The real question here is, why did it take you so long to realize that everything they do is a distraction?
Because tomorrow's January the 6th. Ooh.
Go nuts, right? That is wild. Awesome. Well, thank you all so very much for watching the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jay. It has been a pleasure as always. Episode 35. Thank you very much to our 42 subs and everyone else out there who's just watching for fun. We most certainly appreciate you, and we will catch y'all on the next episode.
See you.